the minutiae of the budget, while though there are numerous, have not been the earth-shattering amount, but the larger picture certainly has been. Let me quickly then get in Jaijit. Jaijit, in a practical sense, we've been talking about fixing poverty. We haven't done it yet, but we've been talking about it forever. We've been talking about building the houses, getting the water, getting the electricity forever. Some of these schemes, not all of them, are reaching end stages, fruition stages, cent percent saturation stages. It is perhaps even conceivable now that it is possible that having a toilet or not having a house or not having electricity one day might not be major issues because they are taken for granted. Is that conceivable?
Absolutely. All the issues that you mentioned, that we are moving towards asking for more roads and more schools and so on and so forth. What that indicates is that the value system of the country is moving towards a middle class value system. People have moved up from very debilitating poverty to at least reaching the levels of lower middle class, and therefore aspiring to become upper middle class and so on and so forth. Now, what's the difference between a middle class and anyone else? A middle class gets up and says, my main identity is that I need to make sure my children do better, they get a better schooling, their life is better than my life, and so on and so forth. The other identities that I will have as a middle class get significantly diminished. My caste identity, my religion identity, my social minority identity, and so on and so forth, all of them get diminished when I become a middle class. What we have seen in the last 10 years is that because of the development that has come in, people are now having aspirations equivalent to a middle class. I think, what comes to my mind is this slogan that was made very popular by Captain Batra before he was martyred the next day in the Kargil war, which was Dil Chahta Hai.
Dil mange more, Dil mange more. Yeah.
We have reached a level where we are not saying that my Dil only says that my caste person becomes a chief minister and I'm happy to die after that. We have reached the next level where we are saying, look, we really need material things. We need to better our lives, our children's lives, and so on and so forth. We need better air to breathe. In fact, one of the things I saw missing in today's budget was anything to do with pollution, for that matter. There should have been some budgetary allocation or some talk about controlling pollution.
Yeah, good point. We all missed that, yeah.
Leaving that aside, the larger point that you are mentioning, Rishabh, is that there is a change in stance. There is a change in the mood in the country. Mange more. We would like to have, it's the same thing, education, healthcare, and therefore Ayushman Bharat is pulling a chord in people's heart that they are being taken care of. Those who were completely without any medical support now have hope. So the strengthening of the social support system, which you have seen happening budget out of budget, I think that's heartening. Okay. Also, because we will be going through significant changes in the economy, so a lot of people will fall down and they'll become vulnerable. So these social safety networks that are being created, the social safety nets, that becomes a very important point for people to therefore aspire the next step in their life.
So let me get Jaijit back into this. For people watching the broadcast, I want you to imagine your life without a mobile phone. Okay? Won't be able to function. Have a panic attack if it's not in your pocket. Okay? 15 years ago, didn't feel that way. All right? So something fundamental changes in your life, sometimes slowly, that you don't realize it, and it becomes a part of your life. That happens with economies also. Okay? UPI, nothing 10 years ago. I don't think any of us spend a day without conducting some kind of UPI transaction, big or small. Okay? So a fundamental change happens. So Jaijit, are we transcending, which was the whole goal and the topic of conversation, that you want to become a developed country? And the developed country does not mean that America doesn't have issues or Britain doesn't have issues and all is sorted and they've all left for the retirement parties. But the nature of the baseness of the issues, abject poverty, hunger, destitution, disease, that the nature of these issues largely change. Are we heading in that direction?
Let me answer the question another way. Typically what we saw 10, 20 years back was that if the government or anybody suggested, let's create a nice city or a nice building or a nice airport, the counter argument will be, oh, farmers are dying and you want to create a nice city. Farmers are dying and you want to do something, create an infrastructure. Farmers are dying and you want to create a bullet train. Well, the point, and that's a very juvenile, argument, because what is lost is that if we don't build this infrastructure, then farmers will continue to die. We need to create new cities, new urban conglomerates where new jobs gets created. We suck out the excess labor that is there in farming, and we also provide the infrastructure which helps in getting the goods from the rural areas and getting it distributed at a very low cost. So that has been a shift in conversation. Now people are not asking why we are not having a smart, why are we creating a smart city? Nobody is saying why are we rolling out these fancy trains, and hundreds of them. So the Vande Bharat trains, now there are 400 of these train sets which are getting rolled out. Nobody is asking why we are providing better transportation to people. Nobody is saying that, why don't we provide an old non-AC train wagon to the lower middle class, and will charge less, but let them suffer. Those conversations are not happening. So the first step towards being a developed country is changing the mindset. Japan's mindset got changed when they had the sovereign, the king who wanted to benchmark Japan against developed countries, made sure education was spread, made sure the values that lead to a developed country started coming in the 19th century in Japan. And therefore, even after World War I, World War II, Japan bounced back because the mindset changed.
Okay.
Right? From the ashes of a completely demolished country, it came back. We are at a stage where the mindset change was important, and that, I believe, has truly happened now.
Okay.